David Martinez spent the entire story destroying his own self, chasing a dream that wasn't even his. While on the other hand, Lucy finally reaches the moon. After everything she went through, after everything she lost, she finally escaped Night City. But the person who sacrificed everything to make that dream possible isn't there with her. And that what makes Cyberpunk Edgerunners so different and tragic. What's good, folks? We back. Cyberpunk Edgerunners is one of the fastest paced animes I ever seen. And it's only 10 episodes long, but in those 10 episodes, let me tell you, it's one of the most tragic stories in the entire Cyberpunk universe. Because when you really look at it, the story isn't actually about cyberware. It's about dreams, and more importantly, what people are willing to sacrifice for the people that they really care about. The best way I could describe Night City, it's a place where everyone chasing something. You know, you got some people who want power, some people who want money, and some people really just want to become a legend. But the truth about Night City is that every dream and survival, it comes with a cost, and usually it costs you your life. And we see it happen over and over again in the cyberpunk world. Listen, people keep pushing further, taking bigger risks, and replacing more and more of themselves with this cyberware, all this tech that they put in their body, because everyone believes in the same thing. They all believe that they're special and they're different from everybody else. But David Martinez, he's actually way different from most people in Night City, because he didn't chase fame or power, and he not even trying to become a legend. When he first experienced Lucy's moon dream, he realized something. He realized that Lucy doesn't just want to visit the moon, she want to escape Night City entirely and forget about that traumatic past that he had. Because when Lucy was younger, she was basically raised to be a test subject, and she was already an orphan, and they really just wanted these orphans to become weapons that they could use. She saw her friends die left and right, and she escaped that facility, and she really has a lot of trauma from that. And I feel like that's the real reason that she want to go to the moon. And she opened up and showed David what her dream really is, and that really captivated him. And from that moment forward, David slowly began to replace his own future with hers. When you actually look at it, David, he stays up late at night watching stuff about the moon, watching stuff about Lucy's dream, and he forgets all about his. The story doesn't hide where all this stuff leads to, because David sees exactly what happens to people who push themselves too far. Through Maine. At first, Maine looked unstoppable. Listen, this man was confident, like someone who just had shit figured out, because he was whooping hella ass. But little by little, the cyberware started taking control of him, and you see that this man, Maine, he started twitching, and he started feeling paranoid, and he eventually lost control. Even when everyone around him can see what's happening, Maine kept on repeating the same thing. He'll be fine, and he's still in control. And David watched all that happen. He sees exactly what happened when someone tries to carry too much on their shoulders. But he follows through it anyway. And the disturbing part about David's story is that he knows the risk. Listen, he watched Maine fall apart. He saw how cyberware could destroy people, and yet he chose to keep pushing forward, upgrading his body with more chrome. And let me tell you, when I was watching this, the only thing that popped in my head was addiction, because I remember David saying that the metal in my body feels better than my own skin. And you could see that they keep on wanting more and more and more. You could also see that everyone around them is trying to help. With Maine, they told him to downgrade, to chill out on the chrome, to calm down, but he didn't want that help. That really reminded me of addiction in real life, because you could try to help someone as much as possible, but it doesn't matter if they don't want to help themselves, and there's nothing you could do about it but stand by and watch them break down, even though you really want to help them stop that addiction. The way that I'm looking at this story is less about addiction and more about sacrifice, because Lucy spends the second half of the story trying to protect David. She wants him to slow down, she wants him to stop, because she knows exactly what's going to happen. Because when you really look at it, Lucy was always fighting so David could live. In one scene, listen, she's looking for information, and she sees something that could hurt David, and instead of just pulling out and saying that there was no information which could have saved Maine and everybody else, she decided to try to delete that information so that she could save David. And that was her entire reason for doing everything that she did, why she went through all that trouble just to try to save him. She felt really guilty about their death because she know that if she would have never tried to save David, they could have been alive. And the thing about it is that she ends up leaving the group, and I feel like that's a big part because I feel like that guilt could really eat you up inside, and I feel like that's why she left the group in the first place. But David is fighting so Lucy could reach the moon, and that's kind of sad because by the end of the story, Lucy finally escapes Night City. She reaches the moon, the one place she always dreamed about. But when she gets there, David isn't there anymore. All that's left is the memories of someone who sacrificed everything to make it happen. And for a moment, she sees David smiling. Not because he survived, not because he won, but because he accomplished the one thing that mattered to him the most. And that was Lucy reaching the moon. I feel like this shows that in Night City, dreams never come true for free. Every dream costs something, and David Martinez paid the price for somebody else. And when you really look at it, you look at V from the game. V, he was fighting to survive. He was fighting for himself so that he could keep living. David Martinez, unlike V, he wasn't fighting for survival. He wasn't fighting for any of that. He was fighting so that the person he cared about can achieve their dreams. So he was fighting for something bigger than himself. And I feel like that right there is actually powerful, and it just shows that his life wasn't wasted, because in Night City, everybody got a bad ending, but he at least able to go out with a smile on his face and accomplish his dream of making her dream true. And I really do rock with that a lot. And listen, Cyberpunk Edgerunners, it's a powerful but extremely quick story. But that's not to say that you don't get to build a connection with these characters, because even though it moves rapidly, you still get to build a connection with Maine, just because you see how he treats David and how he really tries to prepare him and just help guide him along the way in all the stuff that he had to go through. And in a way, Maine was like a mentor to David. Because when nobody else was there, this man, he was looking out for him. I feel like that's why David cared so much about Maine and why he took on his legacy and took on the same responsibilities that he did. Because he really felt a connection to him. But when I watch this, I think at the end of the day, you got two people chasing two different dreams. And one of them can't be achieved unless the other one fails, because Lucy's dream was to see David live. David, his dream was to see Lucy's dream come true. And it's definitely worth the watch. And if you like this video, you might like me breaking down what made Cyberpunk Edgerunners so good and what made Persona 5 anime kinda cheeks, I ain't gonna lie. But if you like the video, like, subscribe, hit the notification if you wanna, and it's all still over. Hit the subscribe.